So I just want to mention when cards are in reverse, their influences are still present. It's just that they're a little bit more under the surface. It's sort of like if you're driving with a dirty windshield, you can still see where you're going, you just can't see as well. So it's influence, its meaning is still present. It's just sort of like it's got a little wash over it, or that it's not quite at the surface yet. So your central card being Seven of Cups, this is a card of choices. Seven of Cups is a card that has to do with sometimes like fantasies, seeing things in a pink, pink glasses sort of way, through rose-colored glasses, seeing things as their fantasy version. It's got a lot of Neptune energy, so it's kind of foggy. And when this card comes up, I always say, what you see may not necessarily be what you get. So it's funny, it's reminding me of that new moon in Taurus in the 8th house. It's saying, do your research, dig deep. Don't just take things on a surface value. Sometimes this card reminds me of Las Vegas, where it's like all that glitters is not gold. It's just like, pick your choice. What's behind door number 3 may not be what you think it is. And these things are very seductive. So there's jewels, there's a mask, there's victory, there's power, there's castles in the air, there's all sorts of things that may be appealing and seductive. But when this card comes up, it says really take time to evaluate things, really look behind the curtain and see the depth of what's there, see the substance of what's there instead of just what's there on a superficial level. This can also be a card of castles in the sky. So you can see that depicted here. It means to, you can pursue those things, but you have to set a grounded foundation underneath. It can't all just be dreams and fluff and whipped cream and clouds. It's got to have some sort of substance that brings it down to earth, that makes it real. So when this card comes up, I always invite you to question what's real, what's substantial, what is the choice before me that's going to be lasting and worthwhile, rather than just what appeals shiny at the moment. You're going to see an echo of that towards the end of the month, because moons, there's a similar theme with fantasy life regarding these cards. It's a little different, but I'll talk about that when we get there. So that's the theme. Be careful with your decision making, do research, do your homework, and do your due diligence before making any decisions in May. That's going to be a theme. Don't pursue things that are glittering or just fantasy, like just for the surface level of things. That's going to benefit you long term, because if you make a decision under those circumstances, it could turn out to be very different than what you thought it was on the surface. What's in the shadow position right now is Hermit. And what this tells me, Libra, is that you're looking for what's really true. Hermit is the truth seeker. He's the guru card. He's the disciple. He's the person who strips off all the worldly matters, dross, and gets right to the heart of the matter. He usually goes up in the mountains and just contemplates, like, what's true, what's real. I consider him the person who's pursuing truth with a capital T. So because this is your shadow card, I think what may be going on for you is that you're really searching for answers. You're really searching for what is true. It's actually interesting. This card, and this card can have those sorts of themes. This one, in terms of what you see, may not necessarily be what you get. This one is like, what is really true? Hermit is committed to the pursuit of truth. That's what this lantern represents, and he holds it up for everyone to see. The fact that it's happening in the shadow position says that may be happening for you on an unconscious level or a subconscious level. You may not even be realizing or conscious of the fact that you're searching for these answers, or that you may need to take time to sequester yourself away from the cares of the world to do that. But so that's what's showing up for you in the shadow. He's kind of like hanging out in the parts of your unconscious mind or subconscious where he's really looking for answers. He's really looking for truth. He really wants to know. So you may even want to try bringing that to the surface, Libra, in May, because it may shine light on some of these other things that are going on Moon and Seven of Cups, which is often identifying what's real and what's fantasy, what's lasting versus what's impermanent. So bringing him to the surface, calling upon his aid, because can be useful to you, because Hermit is dedicated to the truth. He's committed to seeing things as they really are. I just want to say also, one of the things that could be difficult for you right now is seeing things or acknowledging things as they really are. You may want to believe that things are a certain way, but your subconscious mind or your unconscious mind knows the truth of the matter. So that's another version of that as well. What's passing away, Libra, for May is Six of Wands. And this is a card of being up on one's high horse. It's a card of usually success and riding in as the rescuer, someone who's victorious, someone who is acknowledged and their reputation is seen. Usually this can appear when we get a promotion or when we're recognized for our efforts, recognized as being an expert or having some sort of accomplishment in a certain area. Six of Wands, you can see he's got this victory laurel and he rides into town and everyone sees him as the expert, as the victorious one, and the one who, literally rides in on the white horse to save the day. So sometimes this card can also appear as being overly, what's the word? I don't want to say smug because it's not really that feeling, but overly confident or cocky in one's station in life. Sometimes this card can read as the Emperor's New Clothes, where it's interesting, another theme about seeing through things. So you may be in a place, Libra, for May, where you're really questioning what do things look like on the surface? What is really true underneath the surface? And how are things appearing versus how they really are? So this successful, elevated appearance of things may be slipping away. It's going to be dissolving, and maybe a preoccupation with how things look and how things appear and what the status and the story and the reputation is about it. So you may be caring less in May about what people's opinions and of you are and what the reputation, the status, and the story is. And you may be more interested in getting things done and aligning with the truth. It's really interesting what's going on here for you. This is Knight of Wands, which is very courageous. He is the Knight of Fire, so it's a card of action. It's a card of boldness and daring, and it's kind of like, I'm almost getting that this is the warrior, the soldier who comes down off of the horse where maybe it's safe and a little bit like he's riding through town and being celebrated, and he's getting down onto the ground and fighting like mano a mano. So it's sort of like, I want to get out of whatever story, reputation, elevated status has been told or said, and get into the trenches. I want to go do the work. I want to go fight the actual battle, not just get the celebratory stuff. This kind of reminds me at the end of Star Wars when they're giving out all the necklaces. Like, this is a silly example, but Princess Leia is handing out necklaces and awards to Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. That's kind of the feeling of this card, is Six of Wands, accolades, celebrations. But this card is actually about the fighting, getting in the trenches, getting dirty and doing it, and like going for it, having courage, having daring, having boldness to pursue the thing, to step into battle, to take action, to be like all knights are, romantic, clever, playful, going for it. And I almost get a sense too that maybe this is a past success, since it is passing away, and you kind of have to decide which course you're going to take, that you're going to jump into and start taking action on next. But take on the confident, bold personality of Knight of Wands. He's there to help you. He's there to help you accomplish things. And he is a card that, this could be a fire sign. Potentially, this could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. This could be someone who's coming in. The old night is passing away, and the new night is approaching, and actually is going to help you with your crusade that you may be doing, Libra. This could easily be you, because Page of Swords is an air sign. That is Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, but I'm reading it as you here, Libra. And Page of Swords is like, I have this idea. I have this truth. I'm willing to stand up for it. I'm kind of new to the game, or this is maybe a new idea to me, a new belief that I've just discovered, but I'm willing to engage in the battle for it. And Knight of Wands is saying, yeah, let's go. I'm right behind you. I support you. I wanna get you to where you're going. If you want to go into that battlefield, if you're going to stand on the top of that hill, I'm right here behind you. Let's go. So I get the sense that whatever may have appeared to be shiny, the rescuer, the high status thing, that's all drifting away. You've got a new story. You've got one new truth. Once you make this decision, Libra, between all the options that are glittering before you, once you identify what's true for you, and that has to go back to Hermit energy. Remember, he's the one who helps identify what's true or not. Once you grab onto that, Libra, you're ready to stand and fight for it. You're ready to declare it. And Knight of Wands can help you do that. So this could literally be a person, usually fire, like I said, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Or this could just be someone who has the Knight of Wands archetype. So someone who's full of action, full of enthusiasm and passion, and just wants to go for it. They want to take action. They've got a fire lit underneath them. That's very Knight of Wands. And they want to help you go in the same direction with your ideal, with your belief. Whatever this piece of knowledge, wisdom, understanding is, swords represent the air, which is your element, Libra. And swords represent, when we see one sword, it usually represents the truth, the one idea, the one belief, the one truth, going back to Hermit. So the truth is something worth pursuing in May. Absolutely. You've got help coming in to help you do it. You may have to take some time to clear away the clouds, whatever foggy vision you might have about telling yourself a certain story about the truth. You have to actually get really real here. And Hermit can help you do that. And then you walk away with a new truth saying, yes, okay, this is real. This is what I'm willing to stand up for. And someone can help you with that. So that's my general reading for you for May, Libra. Let's see what the different weeks are bringing up for you. First week, we've got strength. So, this is a card of endurance. The strength doesn't come from forcing the jaws of the lion open. She gets it through softness, through tenderness, through perseverance, and through endurance, fortitude. So that's what strength is about. It's about retaining and leaning upon and relying upon your inner strength to remain, even when you feel scared, to be as courageous as that lion. And she actually opens the lion's jaws through tenderness and gentleness and patience, endurance and fortitude. Those are all words of strength. It's not through force and domination. So remember that when you are trying to call upon your own strength, strength is here for you the first week of May. And really remember that strength is about enduring, persevering, having fortitude, calling upon your inner strength. It's like a quiet strength that overtakes the fire of the lion. It's not force. It's not domination. It's support, and remaining steadfast is where your strength shows up. So call upon that in week 1 of May. It's really showing up for you. In week 2 of May, you have some insights available to you from prior battles that you may not be seeing. There is knowledge, wisdom, understanding available to you. That's what all those swords are. They're lessons, they're ideas, they're beliefs, they're insights from prior battles that the sun has set on. And I call this card picking up the pieces, because when the battles have already been fought, and when those are in our past, that's sort of like conflicts that have already happened. And there's wisdom and knowledge and insight that can be gathered from those if one takes the time to go out on that battlefield and go pick up those pieces, those insights or rewards from having been through battles and conflicts. When this card is in reverse, it's telling me that you may not see that there are swords out on the field for you to collect. There is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, insights from prior battles and prior conflicts that are available for you to collect if you should so choose. If you take the time to go out on that battlefield and say, okay, well, what is the lesson here? What is the insight? What is the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding that I can gain from examining the battlefield here, from examining the fight that was fought? What can I take away with me? So try to open your eyes to that, Libra, in week 2. Is there anything that you can learn from your prior experiences? You may not see that there's anything there, but I encourage you to go over those battlefields of conflict or of prior battles that have already been fought to see if there's insights and wisdom available for you to collect. That's going to help you going forward with anything else that you encounter. It's rewards. So week 3, 4 of Cups in reverse. 4 of Cups is a card about kind of having a belief that things are always going to be the same. I call this the Rip Van Winkle card, because weeds are growing around this figure. He's looking at these 3 cups and saying, this is how it's always been. This is how it always is. This is how it's always going to be. He's just like kind of doing a hamster treadmill of like, this is just how it is, what it is, and that's what it always is, and therefore I don't care anymore. I'm just kind of grinding it out. Like, I don't really care. I'm checked out. I'm aloof. This is always just what it is. And consequently, he's missing out on this extra cup that the universe is trying to hand to him. He doesn't even see it. And cups represent the heart. Cups represent water energy, which is emotional energy. So this is something that can add to your heart, fill your heart. It's like the universe is trying to hand you something that you love, but you're missing out on it because you're not seeing it. You're too focused on what is and what always has been and what you believe is always going to be. So when this card comes up, and especially in reverse, because that's adding another layer of not seeing or the energy not being present, try to look up and outside of your regular experience in week 3 of May, Libra. There's love available to you in a new place that you haven't seen. So I'm going to say, talk to new people, go to different places, try to experience something and look up and out of what has been your regular, normal experience, because there's something new and wonderful available to you there, and the universe is trying to hand it to you if you can only see it. So look for, where is the extra heart energy at that I'm not seeing? Where is somewhere new that I can look or go? Because that's where it's handing it to you right in front of you, but you kind of have to look up and out of yourself to see it in that 3rd week, Libra. And it might be tough because it's in reverse. It's not going to be easy for you to see it, but if you look for it, it's right there. It's waiting for you. In week 4, we kind of return to the theme of examining what's true and what's not true. Moon is a card about just that. It's Pisces ruled, which is also, we see a lot of Neptune in both of these cards. That's the ruler of Pisces, which does have to do with fantasy, believing in things that are the dream world. That's part of what Moon is. And also helping to identify what's permanent and what's changeable, what's real and what's not real. When we see the moon, it's actually the light of the sun that is reflecting off of the moon. And it looks like it's coming from the moon, but it's constantly changing. And so there's a real question of evaluating what's permanent, what is temporary, what is real and authentic versus what is false, or again, appearing maybe a different way than it actually is, echoing the meaning of this card. And I also point out in this card that there is a crab or lobster coming up from the depths of the water. Now, this represents emotion, deep buried subconscious emotions that may need to come up from the depths for you to go forward. That's what this path represents. And the way to do that is to evaluate. That's what these two towers mean, and the dog and the wolf. Evaluate between your rational mind and your irrational mind, your logical, analytical self with your more creative, I say right brain and left brain. You evaluate these feelings that are coming up, allow them to come up in the gentle light of the moon. Allow these feelings to come up for evaluation. Like, is this real or is this not real? Is this true and lasting, or is it temporary and just a passing emotion? That's going to help you go on your way forward because you become more authentic as you do this. So I'm going to say, Libra, May is going to be a really great opportunity for you to evaluate what's true, especially in matters of the heart, because cups, moon, that's heart energy. And I'm going to say that some of your previous successes and maybe defeats are going to lend you with insight in going forward and also getting support. So focus on the truth in May, Libra. Hermit's there to help you with that. You may just have to go seek him out because he's hanging out in your shadow area. But take time to evaluate what's real for you, what's true, what has substance, what has value, and what's passing, what is temporary or fleeting. And that's going to help you align with your truth and go after it.